Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, January 22nd, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Former fashion model Yogi Farrell will have to undergo another week of observation at the Mental Health Institution. At the Magistrates Court in Kingston this morning, Senior Magistrate Ricky Burnett ordered a one-week extension for the 22-year-old Otley Hall resident to the Mental Health Institution until another court hearing on Monday 29, 2018. Today's hearing followed ruling by Magistrate Bertie Pompey on Friday the 5th of January, in which Farrell was charged with using abusive language against Senior Counsel Karen Duncan Gonsalves, who is also the wife of Finance Minister Camilla Gonsalves. The former fashion model was sent to the Mental Health Institution for a 2-week observation. We get more on this developing story in this report from SVG-TV's Sharon Garway.
It was a packed house at the Magistrates Court in Kingston today for the second hearing of the case involving former fashion model Yogi Farrell, who was sent to the Mental Health Institution for observation for 2 weeks from Friday, January 5th to Monday, the 22nd of January 2018. As she walked into the courtroom this morning, Farrell appeared fragile, making noises and faces, and at times was seen tightly squeezing her eyes shut. At one point, she appeared unable to keep her emotions in check and made a loud shriek and got up from her seat, but the police surrounding her ensured that she got back to her chair. Farrell's legal counsel, Grant Cornell, explained that on visits made by himself and other individuals, as recently as Thursday the 18th of January, his client did not display any psychotic manifestations as displayed in the courtroom this morning. He also pointed out that he had recordings with his client whereby she was coherent. Cornell stated that he had requested that the court have the necessary media gadgets to showcase Farrell's rational behavior. Cornell acknowledged to the court that Farrell was admitted and treated at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital on February 8, 2017, and that she had been seen by Dr. Brown Caesar and Dr. Providence. Cornell appealed to the court to have the 22-year-old examined by a psychiatrist provided by his legal team, as he did not want to stretch the state funds, as a resident psychiatrist is unavailable in this country. He then handed copies of a report to the senior magistrate as well as to the Director of Public Prosecution, Colin Williams. Cornell said the fact that Farrell had already given a not guilty plea and that she was still committed to the Mental Health Institution was a matter of concern. He called on the sitting senior magistrate, Ricky Burnett, to override the decision of the then magistrate, Bertie Pompey. Director of Public Prosecution Colin Williams, in his rebuttal, quoted from sections of the law, as well as the Commonwealth Caribbean Criminal Practice and Procedure. He said it was a non-issue as to whether the person had pleaded or not, and that they were in the court to address the appropriate course of action if the evidence had permitted today. DPP Williams also stated that for the counsel of the accused to want an analysis of an independent psychiatrist was not unusual. He, however, pointed out that in his 20 years of practice before the year 2000, there had never been experts in the field of psychiatry giving reports to the court. But there were, however, medical practitioners who did their best. Cornell rebuked Williams's notion and inquired why he was part of the legal fraternity that tolerated such a modus operandi and did not make efforts to impact change. Upon giving his ruling to the court, Magistrate Ricky Burnett said that he was unable to give a ruling until he had mulled over the submissions made by Farrell's lawyer and the Director of Public Prosecution, who represented the complainant, Karen Duncan Gonsalves, who was not present in court today. The senior magistrate then took the decision for Farrell to spend an additional week at the mental health facility, to which Farrell, seemingly upset, cried, "What?" and was then exited from the courtroom. Sharon Garway reporting for SVG Television News.
Outside the Kingston Magistrates Court today was the sister of the former fashion model, Shania Farrell, who expressed concern that her sister was sent back to the mental health facility for another week.
Your sister is crazy.
My sister is not crazy. My sister have a mental issue, yes, but my sister is not crazy. I could tell all of you that.
What kind of mental health issue that she
That
has?
is personal. But I know for a fact she ain't crazy. Unfair.
Is this the reason why you're so upset this morning?
Yes.
Because you feel that Yogi has something to tell the public, but they're trying
She
to
has a lot to say, but everything is being covered up. All you want to call me crazy, say I crazy too.
Lawyer and activist Kay Bacchus-Batiste raised the concern that she had not seen Farah's mother at the courthouse today, whom she claimed had come to her office requesting her assistance on the matter.
Mother took pizza for her on Thursday. She went back out to see her on Friday. The girl was saying that she should have been released. She's looking forward to be released. What has happened since then? And why is the mother not here this morning? Something has happened. Yes. The mother was in tears in my office, so why is she not here this morning? Something is amiss.
Lawyer Israel Bruce, who was also outside the courthouse today, shared his views on the behavior exhibited by the former fashion model in court today.
Mannerism that I have seen in court this morning suggests to me that you know, I am not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, but it suggests to me that there are some issues that would have to be dealt with as regards Farrell. I would say this here and now, that what I did say on radio a few weeks ago was that the determination to send a person for observation could very well be made based on the transactions in court. So if you had that transaction in court on the day she first appeared, it is justifiable to ask that she be evaluated before she's asked to enter a plea, because you're saying that we're not certain that she is mentally stable enough so that the plea that she gives is properly equivocated. And in my mind, I doubt they're going to put the charge to her this morning based on what I saw. I don't see it happening. If that was her behavior on the first day, then the magistrate was justified on his own accord to make the decision, even without an application from the prosecutor. What I'm seeing inside here today, and what I gathered from what her status quo was on the very first day she arrived in court, suggests to me that there was some I would say medicinal transactions between her entrance at the facility and her departure this morning. Whether or not those are consequential to her behavior in court this morning, I can't say.
Opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday says the government needs to focus more on the things which have been generating economic growth in the country rather than major projects which seem to be going nowhere. On radio today, Dr. Friday said the previous NDP government generated a surplus to fund projects which in their own way grew the economy, and criticized the current ULP administration's focus.
Under the New Democratic Party over the years, what they used to do is they used to generate a surplus on the current account, meaning that after you spend for government, you have a little bit left back. They say somewhere between 4 and 5% you try to achieve, and they have it averaged about 5% for the 17 years in government. That money that you could have used to put towards capital projects, you know, building a feeder road here and there. That's one of the things that's here. The IMF in its reports have said that agriculture has to be transformed from just simply subsistence to one that is more agribusiness based. But the feeder road system that was in this country, in St. Vincent on the mainland, that used to help farmers to get the stuff out of their farms, have been completely neglected. And you see, and that's because the government, they have focused on a few major projects without taking care of the things that have been generating the growth in the economy over the years. And you can't just simply, you know, in order to develop one thing, you let something else go down. That is just basically you're going one step forward and maybe 2 steps backwards. At the very least, you can say taking 1 step forward and 1 step backwards. You're not really, you have to build on what you have now. Protect what you have and move forward.
Dr. Friday added that the Otley Hall Marina is a facility which has tremendous economic potential, and criticized what he calls neglect of the facility by the government.
That you will have new jobs, scale jobs for people who work in the ship maintaining industry, the docking industry. It had facilities for marina facilities there. You had essentially a self-contained community because you had conference center, you had an area for guest house, well, hotel facilities to, you know, provide that service for the people in who are seeking, who have their boats there, who are seeking service from the dock facility, that they could stay there while they are, the boats are being fixed. But this is something that really has to be and it's something that I would do in government. I will look at it again, at the potential for at the Hall, what is needed, what kind of investment is needed to bring it up to where it's supposed to be in terms of the facilities needed.
Leader of the opposition and president of the New Democratic Party, Dr. Godwin Friday, has been elected as vice chair for policy and external affairs on the Caribbean Democratic Union CDU board for 2018. Dr. Friday was elected at the annual general meeting of the CDU, which took place in Miami over the weekend. The other elected members of the board include Chairman St. Lucia's Prime Minister Alan Chastanet, Vice Chair for Women and Minorities Honorable Palma Von Webster of Anguilla, Vice Chair for Organizational Support Honorable Patrick Faber of Belize, Treasurer Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. of Jamaica, and Secretary General Public Relations Officer Nick Francis, also of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. According to reports from member parties of the CDU, the gathering adopted a framework for greater cooperation, and they signed a declaration affirming the values and principles of the union. Member parties of the CDU also developed a work plan for 2018, which include increasing participation of women and youth, policy development, strengthening party structures, and capacity building. Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of China and Taiwan, David Taiwi Lee, along with his spouse, Mrs. Ling Chi, will lead a 5-member delegation to SVG during the period February 1st to 2nd, 2018. The delegation is scheduled to arrive in country on Thursday, February 1st, 2018. This country's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Commerce and Deputy Director of Foreign Policy Research, Doris Charles, are expected to meet the delegation upon arrival at the Argyle International Airport. Additionally, there will be a ceremony for the signing of 2 bilateral projects at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs conference room from approximately 3 p.m. on Thursday, February 1st. President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, has called on members of his union to reaffirm their commitment to the organization. Speaking on the SVGTU Speaks program last Friday on SVG-TV, Robinson noted that the SVGTU stands as the advocate for all educators here in SVG and reiterated the union's commitment to serve and speak for all members of the teaching profession.
The union is your intercessor here, not spiritually, but we are talking about in the physical sense here that your union is your voice, and we are calling on you to be more loyal, to be committed, to be dedicated to the St. Vincent and Grenadines Teachers Union as we continue to rally together to advance the cause of our members, of education, and the trade union movement here in St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Given a brief overview of the past year, Robinson thanked all supporters for standing with the union. He also urged all educators to strive to give of their best when delivering their service.
Attend school regularly, make sure that you are on time, open the channels of communication to your principals, your management, your superiors in any circumstance in which you may have to be away from duty. That is part of your responsibility, and you must do so formally also. Remember that you are a professional and you must act professionally in the business of your employment. We need to do our best to serve you, to address many of the outstanding concerns affecting teachers, affecting education. And we want you to continue to support the union, our union, your union, in all its endeavors so that we will continue to be more effective in whatever we undertake.
Expressing his hope that 2018 will be a very productive year for education, the teaching profession, and the SVGTU, Robinson shared a few words of advice with all students across the country.
Children of our nation, who you are the future, and we depend on you to shoulder your responsibilities as students, to attend school regularly, on time, and that you take care of the property of the school. And we hope that you will continue to work in harmony with your colleagues, show great respect to your teachers, the management of the school, and that you would raise your bar, that is to say, that you would raise your standard of achievement academically, in terms also of your attitude, your conduct, which is very important, and that you would raise the banner of your school even higher.
The SVGTU president expressed commendations to the Ministry of Education on their endorsement of the participation in the recently rolled out Early Learners Program, the EPL. The program, which is an initiative led by the OECS and funded by USAID, is a reading development program for young learners and intends to address essential aspects of policy and practice in order to improve the reading levels of all learners at the early primary level, grade K to grade 3. Robinson shared his hope to see the development of the program in schools here.
It's a program that has been endorsed by the Teachers Union. Similarly to the Child Friendly School initiative, I want to encourage the education officers, the Early Learners Program coordinators, all the best for 2018. I know that you have a very tight schedule, that you'll be visiting schools very soon to follow up on the work that has been done last year. I also want to encourage all teachers, and especially those in the Early Learners Program, that you'll go back to your school and implement the strategies, share with your colleagues, so that we'll have a whole school approach in the development of our students. We look forward that your efforts will not go in vain, but that they will bear good fruits.
Medical personnel representing several health facilities across the country recently received medical supplies and equipment complements the Medical Relief Association. Speaking at the handing over ceremony was writer and activist Trish St. Hill, who thanked the association for partnering with her in getting the medical supplies from New York safely to SVG. St. Hill used the opportunity to encourage Vincentians living in the diaspora wishing to donate other medical supplies to SVG to partner with her.
This would not be possible. I mean, I've sent just about a little bit more than what I've sent here before, and I don't know what happened to them. But I gotta give Fidel a lot of credit. He has not only kept me abreast of what was going on, he has this wonderful team that is, you know, I know that when I send these things, they're not going to be just cast away or left in customs. So I want to say, if you're anybody who's from St. Vincent who's looking at this, you know, you're visiting us, you know visiting us, ask them if they could pick up donation. These are things that a patient die and the family's throwing out. A patient have excessive stuff. They change a medication. Take them as long as they're good and they can use them. Okay? Let me know. Okay? And my number is 347-488-4395. You probably won't get me here because my phone is not working down here. But my number is 347-488-4395. You can also reach me at Trish St. Hill, TRISHSTHILL @yahoo.com. That's my personal email address. If you said to me, Trish, I got some stuff I want to ship, but I don't have the funds or want to pay that kind of money to ship them, let me know. I'll come and get them.
Also speaking at the ceremony was head of the Medical Relief Association, Fidel Caesar, who gave the assurance that the supplies would be properly accounted for.
I can tell you that she is a person with a heart. She did say to me, Fidel, when I go back up, I'm going to send you this stuff. And she did keep her promise. So anyone who is listening or viewing this interview and you would like us to collaborate with bringing supplies to St. Vincent, please let Trish know. In New York, she has just given you her number. And I can also be reached at 784-85672, 458-5672. My cell number is 784-533-6600. And my email address is fidelpcaesar@hotmail.com. I want to re-emphasize that any supplies sent to St. Vincent will be properly accounted for and will be distributed in accordance with the policies of our organization. Thanks once again.
Tomorrow, Tuesday, January 23rd, marks 225 years since breadfruit was introduced in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The breadfruit was first introduced to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 1793 by Captain William Bligh to address food security. According to Agricultural Officer Michael Gloucester, as the country celebrates this significant occasion, the responsibility of every Vincentian is to ensure the breadfruit survives for future generations. The story of the breadfruit is documented and told. There is greater consumption and utilization of breadfruit, conservation of breadfruit genetic material for future references. The breadfruit brand is developed and greater value addition is done to the fruit to extend shelf life. To commemorate the 225th anniversary of the arrival of the breadfruit plant, the Ministry of Agriculture, Rural Transformation, Forestry, Fisheries, Industry and Labor, in collaboration with Massey's Stores, will host a promotion and display on breadfruit at Massey's Kingstown branch tomorrow from 11 a.m. According to the ministry, the objectives of the activity are to provide information and create an awareness of the role of breadfruit in the Vincentian society and to showcase the opportunities that can be created through value addition to breadfruit. The breadfruit is said to be one of the commodities targeted under the ministry's agri-export strategy.